This week on Eagle Angle, we learn how many pounds of food are wasted by students in the branch every day and how Student Life is trying to fix this.
See the Kicker Performance Lab's official opening.
And catch up on Trump's latest reaction after the impeachment trial comes to a close.
Plus, Will Hatley has your 5-day forecast.
And Nick Rogers is here with your weekly entertainment. Eagle Angle, I'm Reagan Meyer.
I'm Elijah Johnson. Eagle Angle is a student-produced newscast live from the campus of Oklahoma Christian University.
Issues within the new branch cafeteria have arisen. U-Dining reports that 400 pounds of food are being wasted by students eating in the branch every day. Student Life is looking to fix this. Becca Kashorek reports.
The branch has brought a better space and more exciting meal options for students since its opening at the start of the spring semester. But with it came a serious problem.
We've had a tremendous amount of waste, and it's very discouraging.
Kurt Hermanson, the head of Oklahoma Christian's U-Dining, began noticing entire plates of untouched food being thrown out. Trays and trays of food discarded after students took too much.
And the number of whole hamburgers that were coming back, whole bowls of Five Spice, whole pizzas, whole bowls of pasta, half of wrap, half of a salad, it just kind of kept growing and growing.
They began weighing the wasted food and discovered,
for several days, we averaged over 400 pounds a day of wasted food.
They believe the issue has come about because students are excited and overwhelmed by the sudden new food options in the branch. They can't decide what to get, so they take several entrees and decide at the table what gets eaten and what gets thrown out.
If you stand by the door and watch the students walking out, several of them, a lot of them have at least 3, and some have 4 entrees.
Student Life is searching for ways to reduce the waste. They're hoping to partner with the Student Government Association to make students aware of the issue.
Students are harder on students than we are as far as their expectations. And what I mean by that is they hold each other more accountable than they want us to hold them accountable. And so I think that will be a good approach for us. And so SGA is going to help us come up with a good solution for that.
It may take a while to completely solve this issue, but a good way to start?
You just grab one entree, go sit down, eat it, and come back and rescan it.
Reporting for Eagle Angle, I'm Becca Kashorek.
This week, Cabaret premieres on the 11th through the 15th at 7:30 p.m. in JIT Theater. This year's theme is Broadway Bound. It will showcase a mix of songs and dances from modern and classic musicals. Newer shows like Hamilton and La La Land are featured, but there are also shows from older musicals like Will Rogers' Follies. Many freshmen will make their debut this year, and the show has multiple new technical elements. There will also be 14 group numbers, which is a first for the cabaret tradition at OC. The set has been updated for this year's show. There will be a train that steams, lots of lights, and of course, a fair amount of color and glitter. Along with performances at OC, the students will also perform on tour after their debut at the university. Tickets sell out fast for this highly anticipated Valentine's show, so get your tickets now.
Coming up this Thursday at 9 a.m., students and staff at OC will welcome prospective students for Future Teachers Day. This event is for students that want to pursue teaching careers. Visitors will learn about financial aid and scholarships and meet current OC education faculty and students in the Gocher Room in the Gaylord Center. They'll also complete hands-on activities and connect with other future Eagles. This opportunity will help visitors learn more about a teaching career and the staff that can help get them there. Visitors will also be given a free lunch in the branch and a few appreciation gifts. For more information about Future Teachers Day, contact Celestia Bennett at celestia.bennett@oc.edu.
The Kicker Performance Lab was officially opened this week and is now available for classes to use. The CEO of Kicker spoke at the ribbon cutting ceremony as well as the engineers who installed the equipment. The Kicker Lab will allow students to create state-of-the-art projects on professional-grade equipment. Make sure to check out the lab in Garvey Center to see what it's about.
Believe it or not, it is not too late to apply for study abroad for the summer session. If you're interested in spending 3 weeks this summer learning in Vienna, Austria, then it's time to get your application in because the deadline is March 1st. Options are available to take classes like International Business, History of Math, and Intercultural Communication. The OC Study Abroad office is always open to ask questions and learn more information on this opportunity. You can also email Kelsey Herndon at kelsey.herndon@oc.edu.
If you have any stories that you want us to report on, send us an email to our producer at becca.kishork@eagles.oc.edu. Now for our national news. President Trump continues to blast those who stood against him during the impeachment inquiry. Utah Senator Mitt Romney is a favorite target. Meanwhile, the White House says the removal of 2 key witnesses wasn't retaliation. CNN's Caitlin Collins reports.
Today, the White House is standing by the abrupt firing of 2 key witnesses in the impeachment inquiry.
They weren't fired, they were moved back to their original jobs.
President Trump has continued his streak of vengeance, claiming Lieutenant Colonel Alex Vindman deserved to be fired because of poor performance reviews while on the National Security Council, though his attorneys called that obviously false. CNN has learned that before they were let go, both Vindman and EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland were quietly planning to leave the administration. But Trump didn't want them going quietly and fired them instead. Officials still claim it wasn't retaliation.
The president wanted to retaliate because of the testimony. That testimony happened, was it in November or December? It's quite a while ago now.
In light of the firings, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer today called on the nation's inspectors general to protect whistleblowers, telling the Pentagon Vindman was viciously attacked for bravely stepping forward to tell the truth. The president is still lashing out at those he can't fire, continuing his onslaught against Utah Senator Mitt Romney, who broke with the party and voted for impeachment.
How's Mitt Romney? You keep him. We don't want him.
Today, Trump also touted his administration's $4.8 trillion budget proposal that features major cuts and eligibility changes in federal safety net programs like Medicaid, food stamps, and disability claims, while boosting military spending.
We're going to have a very good budget with a very powerful military budget because we have no choice. Okay.
The chaos spawned by Iowa's caucus continues to boil over. 2 candidates have now requested a partial recanvass. Andy Rose has the latest.
We received 2 requests for limited scope recanvass.
The Sanders and Buttigieg campaigns are officially calling for a partial recanvass in Iowa of a total of 143 precincts.
And within the next 48 hours, the Iowa Democratic Party will return its assessment and description of next steps to each respective campaign that made a request.
The close call in Iowa, Buttigieg leading Sanders by just 1/10 of a point, has triggered major mudslinging between the 2 candidates. Both claimed victory before all the results were in, and now the 2 have each other in their crosshairs.
My friend Mr. Buttigieg and my friend Joe Biden, they have dozens and dozens of billionaires contributing to their campaign. I think in both cases, they have more than 40 billionaires contributing. We don't have any billionaires.
You cannot risk alienating Americans at this critical moment. And that's where I part ways with my friend Senator Sanders.
But will a recanvass change anything? The Sanders campaign said in a statement they don't expect it to change the results, but say, quote, it is a necessary part of making sure Iowans can trust the final results of the caucus.
This was not the caucus that the hundreds of thousands of Iowa Democrats deserved. And as I said a week ago, I apologize deeply for this.
I'm Andy Rose reporting.
The weather continues to change erratically as we head further into February. Up next, Will Hadley will tell you what to expect in this week's weather forecast.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's going to play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org. This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Eagle Angle. I'm Will Hadley here with your weather report. For weather right now, we're looking at 40 degrees and cloudy, but feels like 35 degrees here on the campus of Oklahoma Christian. And as we move in to today's highs, we're looking at up in the Panhandle and into northern Oklahoma. We're looking at 39 in Guymon, 38 in Ponca City, and then 39 degrees in Miami. But as we move a little bit more central to where we are in Oklahoma City, we're looking at 31 degrees, so the lowest temperature in the state there here in Oklahoma City. As we move up into Tulsa, we're looking at 42 degrees, and the same can be said for Sallisaw. But then as we move more down south towards the border, then we're going to look at 46 in Altus, 47 in Lawton, 43 in Ardmore, and as well as Durant. So as we look at the weather for tonight, we're looking at 19 degrees, so make sure that if you're out and about tonight to keep a jacket on hand and bundle up. And then the winds, we're going to look at northwest winds of 15 miles an hour with 83% humidity. So as we move into our weekend weather highlights, it's going to be partly cloudy with a low chance of rain, and it'll be in the low 60s, so it'll be a little warmer than it has been this week, but it'll be a little colder than it has been in the last couple weekends. But then when we move into our weekly 5-day forecast, then on Thursday, tomorrow, it's going to be 37 degrees as a high with a low of 19, partly cloudy on Friday with a high of 48 and a low of 38. And then when we move into the weekend, it's going to warm up a little bit with a high of 60 and a low of 35 on Saturday. And then Sunday, high of 63, low of 47. And then on Monday, a high of 64 and a low of 32. So after this short break, Nick Rogers will be in the entertainment corner to tell you about this week's entertainment.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Hello everyone and welcome back to this week's Entertainment Corner. I'm your host Nick Rogers, and first up, a trip to a Disney theme park is going to cost you more in 2020. Tickets increase have been announced for both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Annual passes have increased between 4 and 8%, depending on which plan you purchase. This follows a more than 10% ticket price hike in 2019, according to Walt Disney World News Today. For Disneyland, the most expensive one-day park hopper ticket will cost over $200 for the first time ever. The higher ticket prices come as Disney California Adventure prepares to open its Marvel Avengers campus. The old 3-ticket tier system for the Magic Kingdom has changed to a slightly more complicated 5-tier system. There are more options now than just value, regular, and peak prices. The only good news is for Florida residents, there are no price hikes for Sunshine State visitors' annual passes. Full pricing for Disney World in Orlando and Disneyland in Anaheim can be found on the park's websites. A satirical thriller laced with over-the-top violence will get its second chance in the movie theaters. Universal Pictures released a new trailer for The Hunt, and the film is now set to release on March 13th. The movie was originally scheduled to come out last fall, but it was put on hold following a string of mass shootings in Texas, California, and Ohio. The storyline depicts what's been dubbed as liberal elites kidnapping and killing people they call deplorables for sport. The movie drew the ire of Fox News and President Trump, even though he didn't mention it by name. But its producers told the Variety magazine the film takes shot equally at both sides of the political divide. Now, let's check out what David Daniel has on this week's Hollywood Minute.
A big Oscars bump for Parasite. The movie website Fandango says the day after the Korean film made history, winning Best Picture and 3 other Academy Awards, ticket sales jumped 443% over a week earlier. Parasite is the first non-English film to win the Best Picture Oscar.
123 children. Their parents were just killed by Nazis.
We need to train them to survive. What good does it do to teach them fear? I think it's important to help the children laugh in the middle of this war.
Resistance tells the true story of heroism amid the Holocaust. Jesse Eisenberg stars as a Jewish would-be actor whose work to save orphans led him to become the legendary mime Marcel Marceau. Resistance reaches theaters March 27th. 9 years after Friday put 13-year-old Rebecca Black in the spotlight, the singer is addressing the massive, painful backlash to the song. Black, now 22, posted on Twitter, "I just wish I could go back and talk to my 13-year-old self who was terribly ashamed of herself and afraid of the world." Black writes that growing up, she felt depressed and alone. Classmates threw food at her, and producers said they'd never work with her. But she's now writing and releasing her own music and being kinder to herself, posting, "Every day is a new opportunity to shift your reality and lift your spirit. You are not defined by any one choice or thing. Every day, even Friday." In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Looks like that's all for this week. Come back next week to check out what's new in entertainment. Now, we go back to the desk for sports.
I'm Trinity Carpenter, and this is your Eagle Angle Sports Report. On Saturday, Oklahoma Christian's Ultimate Team played in their first regular season game as a program against Oklahoma Baptist University. The Eagles would score first and not trail at all in the second game as they went on to beat Oklahoma Baptist and get their first ever win in program history. Oklahoma Christian was led by Elliot Moore, who had 7 assists out of the 15 points scored. Garrett Houston led the team in scoring with 4 total scores, and Larry Crooks and Zach Payne had 3 scores apiece. Moore and Payne also led the team in blocks, both having 3. The Eagles' next game is tomorrow here at home against UCO. Throw-off is set for 7 p.m., weather permitting. OC's softball team hit it out of the park this week as the ladies went 5-0 in their home series. They would go on to outscore their opponents 49-14, and 20 of those runs took place in a single game against Missouri Southern. The Lady Eagles also would score 15 runs in a single inning, which would land them second for the most runs scored in one inning in Division II history. Jaden Johnson and Brianna Robertson led the team throughout the weekend, combining for a total of 18 RBIs on a combined total of 13 hits, one of them being grand slam by Robertson. The Lady Eagles are now 9-1 to start the regular season. The girls have 4 upcoming home games this week. The first 2 games will be on Friday, where they will face Chadbourne State at 2 p.m. and Fort Hays State at 4 p.m. The final 2 games of the week are scheduled for Saturday, where the girls will face Colorado State Pueblo at 10 a.m. and Colorado Springs at 12 p.m. The baseball team played a 3-game series this past weekend against the 11th best team in Division II, Angelo State. The Eagles played 2 close games in the first 2 games of the series, but fall just short in both, losing the first game 5-3 and losing the second game 9-8. Angelo State would then go on to win Game 3 9-4 and sweep the Eagles in the 3-game series. Michael DeFiore led the team in RBIs with 4, and them all coming from a grand slam. The team will be facing Texas A&M International in a 4-game series this week. First game of the series is set for Friday at 1 p.m. They will then play a doubleheader on Saturday. First game is set for 1 p.m. Both teams will then close the series on Sunday. Game is set to start at 1 p.m. This past week, the girls were on the road twice, with their first game being on Thursday when they took on Texas Permian Basin. Texas Permian Basin took the lead early on in the first quarter and did not look back, as they would hold to the lead throughout the entire game and go on to beat the Lady Eagles 80-68. Leading scorer for the Lady Eagles was Katie Mayo, who had 23 points and 8 rebounds. The Lady Eagles would then travel to Silver City, New Mexico, to take on Western New Mexico. Oklahoma Christian would take control of the lead early on in the first quarter, and they would keep that lead throughout the game and go on to win 73-67. Megan Shelton and Katie Mayo both led the team in points at 19. As for the guys, they were also on the road this past Thursday when they faced off against Texas Permian Basin. Oklahoma Christian would fall behind in the first half and trail by a total of 12 points heading into halftime. But the Eagles would battle back, scoring 47 points in the second half to send the game into overtime. In overtime, Texas Permian Basin would take the lead and go on to win 81-78. Jonathan Reyes Valdez would lead the Eagles with 30 points. Then on Saturday, the Eagles would go on the road to face Western New Mexico. Oklahoma Christian came out hot, scoring a total of 41 points in the first half and going into halftime with a 15-point lead. But in the second half, the Eagles would let Western New Mexico get back into the game. Oklahoma Christian would manage to hold the Mustangs off, though, and go on to win 65-63. Leading scorer for Oklahoma Christian was Aubrey Johnson, who had 19 points. Both the guys and the girls will be in action this coming Thursday and this Saturday, where they will take on Angelo State and Lubbock Christian. Both games will be here at home. That's your Eagle Angle Sports Report. After this, see how a small town's police department granted the wish of a young boy battling cancer in this week's Take a Look at This. Stay with us.
Retirement? I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy. You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
An 8-year-old boy in Kentucky is battling a rare terminal cancer, and his city of Jeffersontown surprised him, naming him police chief for the day. Gil Corsi joined him on a ride-along, and it wasn't all pretend. Take a look at this.
I want to go above and beyond. He deserves anything and everything.
They say live in the moment.
Kyler, we need your help. Our city is in trouble, buddy. We need your help.
Each day at its best.
All right, let's do this.
Kyla, we are on scene.
But when you're 8 years old,
his face started to droop. I told him I thought he had a stroke.
And the doctors say your days are few.
It was much more serious than we thought.
These minutes and moments.
We're going to make you the new chief for today, okay?
Just
you ready?
Matter more.
Real loud.
I do.
Very good, very good. You are now the chief of police for the day.
A tumor spidered over Kyler Buckner's brainstem. It's a rare pediatric cancer.
This is your seat right here.
No cure, no effective treatment. The kind no child survives.
It's so hard to have a kid that's running around and playing and just enjoying life, being so silly. And then the next day, he can't walk, he can't feed himself, he can't go to the bathroom. And it's just like, you just don't know. You just don't know that this is possible until you walk in those shoes, and then you just are heartbroken that it has to happen to anybody, and you're devastated that your child is one of those.
Canines to firearms, and true detective work with his brother Jacob, an assistant chief, at his side. J-Town Police did everything they could to make this moment one of his best. What's been your favorite part of being police chief?
Yeah, there you go.
Coming in here.
The truck? The big truck? Do you have your driver's license yet? And it wasn't just training for the new recruit. Day one had a very real police run. On Kyler's way to the station, a crash with injuries and an infant.
He kind of looked up at me after he saw that, and is this real? I was like, Kyler, this is what it's like to be a hero.
All expected to be okay.
You don't get picked or chosen to do certain things, you just got to act.
You don't get picked or chosen for cancer either. And the kind Kyler has kills most kids in less than a year.
We just live day to day and live and laugh and love and enjoy what time we have, because nobody knows how long.
Each moment, every day.
The smiles never left his face.
Lived at its best.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Maya was very excited about being able to give that to you. Look at her, see how happy.
Well, 400 pounds of wasted food a day. That is insane. Elijah, are you adding to that problem?
Yes. I get 2 entrees. I usually eat like 1.5, so I add like half a pound a day.
Oh my goodness.
Are you?
I would like to say I'm not, but I probably am. I mean, we have so many options. It's hard not to just get whatever looks good.
See, eagle ankles, not safe.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you so much for watching Eagle Angle every week. Eagle Angle, where it's your campus.
Your news.